Hi folks, this is going to be another different video since I'm not actually doing this for you guys. This is a personal message from me to Nephilimfree. Hey Neph, what's up? I have a couple of questions for you. One is your God's role in the creation of the universe. See, I've heard you go on and on and on and on and on several times about how your God created the universe. How? And I don't mean that facetiously or sarcastically. I really want to know how. Provide me with the exact means that your God used to create the universe. And I would really appreciate it, and I'm certain that a lot of other people would appreciate you stop misrepresenting science, such as the theory of evolution and cosmology, specifically theories pertaining to the Big Bang. Because every time you open your mouth and say something about the Big Bang, you get it wrong. And I'm really getting tired of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a passage from Stephen Hawking and Leonard Mlodinow's book, A Briefer History of Time. So then maybe you'll have a better understanding of how this group of theories actually pertains to your religion. The passage comes from chapter 8 in A Briefer History of Time, entitled The Big Bang, Black Holes, and the Evolution of the Universe. Now, it should be noted here that evolution in this sense is not the same as biological evolution. This is being used as a synonym for development. In Friedman's first model of the universe, the fourth dimension, time, like space, is finite in extent. It is like a line with two ends or boundaries. So time has an end, and it also has a beginning. In fact, all solutions to Einstein's equations in which the universe has the amount of matter we observe share one very important feature. At some time in the past, about 13.7 billion years ago, the distance between neighboring galaxies must have been zero. In other words, the entire universe was squashed into a single point with zero size, like a sphere of radius 0. At that time, the density of the universe and the curvature of space-time would have been infinite. It is the time that we call the Big Bang. All our theories of cosmology are formulated on the assumption that space-time is smooth and nearly flat. That means that all our theories break down at the Big Bang. A space-time with infinite curvature can hardly be called nearly flat. Thus, even if there were events before the Big Bang, we could not use them to determine what would happen afterward, because predictability would have broken down at the Big Bang. Correspondingly, if, as is the case, we know only what has happened since the Big Bang, we cannot determine what happened beforehand. As far as we are concerned, events before the Big Bang can have no consequences and should not form part of a scientific model of the universe. We should therefore cut them out of the model and say that the Big Bang was the beginning of time. This means that questions such as who set up the conditions for the Big Bang are not questions that science addresses. Now, what does that all really mean? Well, if I interpret their words correctly, it seems to me that time is thought to have begun at the Big Bang. Then questions of what happened before the Big Bang become absolutely irrelevant because terms such as before have no meaning when you got no time. Do you understand that? If the Big Bang was the beginning of time, nothing could happen before the Big Bang because there was no before. Now, I mean, you can argue with that and say, you're wrong, you see. Blah, 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 blah. You're wrong, you see. But that really doesn't change anything. Now, if you want to show that Hawking and Mlodinow are wrong in their assessment of the current theories, at least their assessment in 2005 when this book was published, then, dude, you actually have to show that they're wrong. You have to do the work. Doing a few Google searches at creation websites is not going to show that these kind of theories are wrong. and mumbling incoherently and rambling on off topic with interjections of you see and really creepy pauses, that's not science. That's just idiocy. And the other question I wanted to ask you is, where the fuck do you get off being so goddamn arrogant? Doesn't your holy book have some things to say about pride and arrogance, those kind of things, such as pride precedes a disaster and an arrogant attitude precedes a fall? Or another translation of the same verse is pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. I've never seen a YouTuber, with the exception of perhaps ShockofGod, that's more arrogant than you. And it's an unfounded arrogance as well, because you are obviously unwilling to do the work necessary to debunk the things you claim to debunk. Now, I'm not saying these things to so-called pwn you or whatever, because I don't have to. You do a really good job of that all by yourself. What I'm doing here is I'm actually issuing you a challenge. I want you to show conclusively how your God created the universe and where you justify your baseless arrogance. Now, anybody who's watched this whole video, Nephi has blocked me, so I can't post this as a video response to any of his films. So if you could please mirror this around YouTube, I really want his answer on this. I'm really interested to know how he responds.